welcome back to my video. My name is Wen and I'm the founder and CEO of SushiVid. SushiVid is a influencer marketing company, so we have multiple ways that you can work with influencers. You can work with them on a cost per post model, you can work with them on a cost per sale model, you can work with them on a cost per share model. So if you're interested in any of that, just check out our website, link inside the description below. So let's get started. What are the top 5 most annoying questions that I receive as the CEO of the company? First and foremost, the first question I always get is, what is the difference between KOL and influencer? So KOL stands for key opinion leader and influencer just influencer, right? So to me, it is exactly the same thing. I don't know what is the difference. To me, a key opinion leader is somebody that has some thought leadership in something, and an influencer is somebody who can influence somebody to make a decision on something. So if just say I'm a chef, right? I'm a key opinion leader, I'm also an influencer. I think it's just a difference in jargon. KOL is widely used in agencies, KOL is widely used in China, whereas influencer is widely used in the US, in the more urban areas. I mean, there are also other words like creators, there are, more specific to platforms. We have like YouTubers, we have Instagrammers. So there is no difference between a KOL and an influencer. They're essentially the same thing. So next question is, how about those with fake followers? How do I know if an influencer have fake followers? Okay. Everything in life that is good will have fakes, okay? So Louis Vuitton has a lot of fake bags lying around in all the, all the third world countries, right? Some even first world countries. At one point when Juicy Couture was famous, there are a lot of fake Juicy Coutures, right? There are a lot of fake stuff out there. Just because something is successful, people are going to try to make fake ones just to make money out of it, right? So influencer is the same. There are a lot of fake accounts, there are a lot of people stealing accounts. So influencers, if you're watching this, please be careful. Don't just sign up to any other platform with your social media. It's not safe, okay? But what I'm trying to say is that there is definitely going to be fakes. The good news is that there are a lot of fakes means that it works. That's why there are a lot of fake stuff, okay? And influencers, how can you tell the fake influencers from the real influencers? The first thing is you should look at their followers. Who are the people that are following them? Click on every single one of those followers that you find suspicious, open them up and see if their account is active. So for example, if an account has like 1,000 followers and one picture, you're like, yeah, I mean, unless you're Taylor Swift, I mean, that's really quite, suspicious. And of course, if they have a lot of those kind of accounts, of course. And some accounts don't even have names. They're like, AB29726. I mean, are we living in a different planet? So there are those kind of influencers and those followers, and that I think is highly suspicious. And the other thing is, if an influencer has over, an impossible or rather abnormal kind of engagement, that is also highly suspicious. So for example, if everybody, right, I mean, you can't cheat the Facebook algorithm. At any point in time, Facebook allows maybe 10% of your people or your followers to see your post. So unless you have a extraordinarily special content, so funny, everybody started sharing, it is almost impossible for you to get above average kind of engagement. So if they promise you a crazy engagement, look at the content. If the content is not too funny, if the content is not too, interesting, I don't think it's possible for them to actually get over and above kind of engagement rates. Third thing is, look at their content and their engagement with their audience, right? If the engagement rate is high, look at the engagement. Are they chatting with people? Are they leaving comments? Are they talking to people? If they're not doing any of that, then there is a high chance that the numbers are suspicious. But if this person is actively talking to the audience, actively engaging with them, and answering any questions they may have, doing live streams, then that influencer, yeah, I mean, if they have, over and above kind of engagement, then yes, I think it is highly probable. So one is you can check their followers, check who they're following. You can check the content if it's anything too extraordinary. If it's nothing, then it's probably suspicious. Third thing is, of course, look at their comments and their activity. Of course, there are other things like tools that you can use, right? Tools that can tell you, like for example, if an influencer has sudden spikes in the number of followers out in the middle of nowhere and the content is just ordinary, then we know something's wrong with it. But there are also cases where nowadays they're so smart, they stagger the number of followers as well, so it's not so easy for you to track. So exactly, so even though there are tools that can show you the graph increasing gradually, you should still look at the content to be sure. Or you can use a platform like ours, right? We engaged thousands of influencers. Last year, we paid 2,000 of our influencers. This year, we're aiming to pay 4,000 influencers. We made 11,000 contents for our clients last year. And for me, that's all data, right? When I look at every campaign that we do, every 100 influencers, we sieve out 10 that we will never use again. Every 100 influencer from brand A, whatever that we realized that was suspicious, we don't use in brand B. And whatever that we use in brand B, we don't, when we see suspicious activities, we remove them and we don't use them in brand C, brand D, brand E. So if you're coming in now and you're probably like brand number 1,600, there is a high chance that we've already cleaned up the system quite a fair bit for you. So, that's why it's worth paying 25% to our company. The next thing is, next question I often get is, who is the top 3 influencers in Malaysia? There's so many ways I can answer this question. I don't even know where to start. To me, there's no such thing as top 3 influencers. Like top 3 influencers in what category, just based on number of followers? I think that's not really a really valid way to calculate an influencer. Influencer engagement matter, influencers content quality matter, influencer, like even the niche, maybe if you ask me like, who's the top 3 travel influencer in Malaysia? Okay, fine. Who's the top 3 food influencer? Okay, who's the top 3 sports influencer? I could still answer, but like, who's the top 3 influencer? I think that's really, really vague. But I get that a lot. People always tend to ask me that and want me to give a definite answer. Like even different platforms have different number of influencers, number of followers. So I don't really know how to answer that question. So if you ask more specifically, I can give you a better answer. Like I said, our platform has 12,000 influencers last I counted. I can't be sure exactly who's the biggest, and what's the point of getting the biggest if they're going to cost a lot of money. For me, I personally prefer working with like smaller influencers but more. I'd rather cast my net wider to get more influencers, and I can test different kinds of effects and different kinds of target audience, rather than to just cast my net on one influencer and like place all my bet on that person. So yeah, I don't have a specific answer for you for the top 3 influencers. I get that one a lot. Okay, the 4th question I often get is, why is influencer marketing so expensive? Can I just give them free products? Okay, so it does take time for me to make this YouTube video. I actually did put my time, put on my makeup, find the right clothes to wear. I moved my lights around a little bit, I moved my camera around a little bit, and I wrote my script. I actually do have a script, right? I'm not really looking at it just because I have the knowledge in here, but it doesn't mean that I don't have like talking points. I must have like rehearsed this as well, and like this is all effort. When people make YouTube videos for you or take a photo for you, or they make TikTok videos may seem easy, like you just touch and you release and it's done, but it takes creativity and it takes people doing a lot of different kinds of things to make it work. So when you say like, how can we give them free products, is that not enough? Like, wow, so expensive. It does take a full lot of production, and a lot of studying and a lot of research. Like, I would need to research what my competitors are doing. I would need to research what other influencers are doing, what is in trend right now, what are the latest gadgets to use, what is the best camera. I need to buy all the different kinds of lighting. I need to do a lot of stuff, and I need to make sure my closet's always up. I need to constantly be posting. It takes discipline to really post every single day content again and again and again. So like, if you ask me, it's like really more than a full-time job. So if you ask me like, why influencer marketing is so expensive. One is, if you use the influencer directly, it shouldn't be too expensive. It should be fair. But if you had gone to an agency before and the agency probably doubled the price, then you say like, oh, why influencer marketing is so expensive? I can empathize and I can understand. But that kind of practice is like 5 years ago. Like today, there are so many different platforms like SushiVid, and we give you like transparency, we give you pricing, and we charge you a fair 25% to handle the payment, to guarantee payment. We handle influencers, we handle agreements, we handle content creation, ideation, we do all that kind of stuff. And of course, we clean up the influencers for you, like clean up in terms of like getting rid of all the fake followers type influencers, right? So today, I think influencer marketing is underpriced. Yes, it is expensive relative to Google and Facebook, but those are different kinds of ads. They're not the same kind of ads as influencer marketing. For example, if you look at a billboard, can you interact with it? I mean, I can see the brand on it. I can't interact with it, right? It's the same as Google Ads. It's like you shining an ad at me. I can't really interact with it. But influencers, they're constantly commenting. They're constantly talking to their audience, and they're constantly working their content, and they're doing better, and they're being honest, and they're giving reviews, they're sharing information. That's constant communication. That is a two-way communication. And I mean, if you take away Google ads and Facebook ads, I think influencer marketing is severely underpriced. I think it's still something you can explore. So the fifth and the last question that I have for this particular video is, can the influencers do more? A lot of clients come to me, and like after they agree with like say $1,000 for an influencer to make a YouTube video, we've already shown them the sample, we've shown them everything. Brands tend to always ask, can I have a copy of the video? Or can the influencer also post it on Facebook? Can the influencer do more? Can it cut short? I mean, the video is already done. Can they edit it to a 1-minute video so that I could put it up somewhere? The answer is depends on the influencer. Of course, some influencers are happy to do more for you, but if you're using an agency or a startup like us or a platform like us, right, there is a high chance the answer is no. Sometimes, I mean, I wouldn't say entirely no all the time, but sometimes. So for example, when you engage us to do 100 influencer for a campaign, whenever you ask us to make one change, I have to ask 100 people. And that is a lot to ask, because we already have a standard step. We've already sent them an email. Can you imagine every single time you make a change, I have to send an email? And by the end of it, like the influencer receives like 5 different emails from us. It just confuses the shit out of them, because you're sending them WhatsApp here, email there, and then 2 minutes later you change your mind, and then 3 hours later you change your mind again. That just keeps, which is the last email? And like, we've already sent a really concise email to them with everything they need. So when you make changes like that, we have to ask 100 of them, we have to email them, and then now we kind of like have a chance of screwing up everything, right? But of course, if it's a small number of influencers, sure. Or if the campaign is not urgent, maybe we'll do it for you. But if the campaign is urgent, you want it now and you want more now, the answer is no. Like, do you ever go to a media buy company and tell them like, hey, can you throw in another 20 minutes of Google, YouTube ads? Like, you don't, because you realize that is programmatic and that's a machine doing something, right? You can't just negotiate like that with Google, right? So why is it that it's fair for you to negotiate with us? Like, we're already pretty underpriced. Like, every single time a client asks us for additional stuff like that is not negotiated, it is an extra email, an extra WhatsApp, an extra explanation that needs to go out to 100 people. If I take a minute to explain to one person, that's 100 minutes of my team's time. So the answer is, can we do more? Depends. Please try not to. If you ask us upfront, we'll be happy to try. But if like in the middle of a campaign you ask us to do more, and some of them, like, I don't know, some agencies or some clients that we have, they're really, really, unreasonable. It's like, how come the other agency can and you cannot? Like, how much did you pay the other agency? Why don't you use that agency again? I dare to admit today, I think we are the most reasonably priced. I genuinely believe that, because we're so transparent. Like, how come the other agency can? Sure, then why are you not using them and you're using us? Probably because our price is a lot more reasonable. So, and with that reasonable pricing comes some rigidity, and I hope that clients can understand that. And influencers, if you're watching this, trust me, it's not what we want, it's what the clients want from us as well. And so stop making us the punching bag, because my team really needs a lot of love from you. So guys, so this sums up my video of the top 5 most annoying things that I get asked all the time. I hope that this helps some of you to understand our business and be kinder to us, both brands and influencers, of course, and agencies also. So thank you so much and have a nice day.